All right, so today we're just gonna encourage some of you who think it's too hard to camp with kids, and we're gonna show you our lovely trailer we call Pam. And it's beat, but it has done us wonders. And if you're like, oh, I don't want to camp because I don't want to stay in a tent, I'm with you. Tent camping is the worst, especially with babies. And so we're gonna show you that despite our camper trailer is not like a Pinterest camper, it has been super functional for us, and maybe it will inspire you to look for something similar so you can get out on the road. So this is like the legit in action, like we are currently camping and we did not clean up for this video. But it's probably good for you to see that because camping life is messy, especially with kids. And some people, I'm not type A, I don't have all my stuff all perfectly clean and placed, but I'm sure some people would do better than me, but this is what it looks like when we're camping. My kid was sitting here doing puzzles. You know, it's like a blessing to have a place for them to come and color or eat or whatever they want while you're getting ready to head out. So this is a 1975 Prowler. It was original when we got it. You can see like the roof stuff was peeling and we were like, should we like try and take it all off? It was way too hard. We're like, who has time for that?
Good enough.
So we have a dinette. We do have this stool here, an IKEA stool, just cheap stool that a person can sit right here at the edge and then it tucks under. We can fit all 6 of us at the dinette like really well. It does convert to a bed. 2 of our kids can easily sleep on it together. We did have the seats recovered, but we used it for a long time with the original like tweed type stuff on it. So that has been really good. The table comes up and off. These 2 cabinets are where we put all of our food. And we've been on some really long trips, longer than you could pack all your food for. But for the trips where we're going and you could buy like a week or 5 days, you can fit, we've been able to fit everything for our food. The refrigerator is a good size as well. It does get packed, I would say, like, but for a camping fridge, it's big. And we're even missing this one little thing. If you had that, you could fit even more stuff. Freezer, we have bought like frozen pizzas and ice cream. This started coming loose, so if I want to close it, I tuck a rag and it stays closed. So see, like, it doesn't have to be perfect to make it work. Our oven totally works. I've baked cookies, brownies, cornbread, used it a ton. All 4 burners work. Use it all the time. I do recommend getting, I like using like stainless steel or cast iron, all the healthy stuff, but when you're camping, just trust me, it's worth having a really good quality non-stick so that you don't feel bitter when you're doing dishes after you fed everyone.
True story.
This super old heater, it can be a little dangerous if you have little kids because it does get hot on the outside. But man, that thing cranks heat like nobody's business. They don't make them like they used to. We have a dual-sided sink here. So here's the thing. When we got our trailer, the water system worked. We could run water. It was amazing. So if you can get one that the water, the pipes and stuff are intact and you can use the water, it's worth it. But if you can't, like ours broke, we froze the pipes because we were new to the East Coast and they burst, and that was a bummer. So now at the moment we use it without the running water, and it's still such a blessing to have a trailer to sleep in and prepare food in, even though we don't have the water for washing hands, brushing teeth, getting ready for bed at night. All right, so one of the other things I love about this camper is that there are a lot of drawers and storage. We have drawers down here. We put like crafts or coloring or books. That's if we're on like long trips. We've done a 7-week trip and a 5-week trip in here, and then we've done a whole handful of like more normal size trips, a couple days or a week. Up here we put pots, pans, baking dishes, nesting bowls. Get nesting bowls. They're worth it. Over here is where we do coffee mugs, coffee pot. There's not a lot in there right at the moment. Spices.
Just drank it all.
And then obviously the drawers, silverware, and any other random stuff you want. There's a lot of storage. This is our bed. This actually converts up into a couch, but we never convert it into a couch. It always stays a bed because That's how we use it all the time. So the two of us sleep down here. This is like a little wider than just a plain single bed. Like this mattress can scooch in a little more, and it's a little longer, but we have had two of our kids sleeping up there at a time. So you can really, if you were wanting to sleep, I would say you could squeeze in 4 kids and 2 adults. We have the babies sleep at our feet. I don't think a lot of people would do that, but we make it work, and we've never kicked him, and so that's good. And then this curtain here, this is awesome. It's also original, and when the kids go to bed, like last night, we can pull the curtain, we can have the lights on, it doesn't bother them, and we sat here and played card games, just the two of us, like date night, because we have 2 of our kids sleep in our conversion van, and 2 of our little kids sleep in here with us. All the windows open, which is a big deal because we get great breezes through here. We have 2 windows there on the sides and 1 straight back. This actually also folds up like this to become cabinets. Because we have 4 kids, we never convert it to that. We do have 2 little windows up there, which is a big deal. If it's really hot, we have battery powered fans, and they can suck air in for the people up top because that can get warm. There have been times, not many, but times that we've had to pull over to the night for the night into a truck stop where you're like not going to have your kids sleeping separate from you. And in those instances, it's nice that when we're desperate, we can all bunk up in here and know that everybody's safe. The top comes off. This does convert to a bed, and we can fit 2 of our kids here sleeping. We can fit 2 kids here, 2 kids there, and we actually sleep with a baby at our feet, so you could sleep 5 kids in here if you really wanted to. But now that our oldest are 12 and 10, it's definitely getting a little tighter, but they sleep together on a single bed at home sometimes, so the 2 big ones could sleep here and the 2 littler ones there. That's definitely enough space for 2 younger kids. It does feel a little tight when they get older, and it's harder to roll over, but for our 4.5-year-old, it's no big deal at all. So like I said, there's a lot of storage space. Even under the bed, when we have the bed, you can shove toys or packs of drinks down underneath the bed. That's another good spot. This is another good closet. We actually could make it work more functionally if we invested a little more in it, but we got cheap plastic shelves. It was just like a hanging space, and we just shove everything in there. Part of the reason we're able to go on as many trips as we do is because we're just like, let's go, and we don't make it all perfect in order to go. And so I would just encourage some of you, don't wait till it's perfect, just like make it happen, or you won't get out there. We do have a full bathroom. I'll show you that. It has a shower. We've never used the shower because I don't get how anyone would not get water everywhere. And like I said, now the water pipes are broken, but we use that for storage. We put like a bin, and we fill it with towels and beach stuff and kind of everything else. This is our toilet. And one tip we have, this is maybe kind of like weird or gross, but if you're worried about dealing with clogs in the system, like just number 1, make sure you get, like we get Scott's. Number one and number 2, here you go. Number 1, get the really thin toilet paper, like we get Scott's. It's we get the regular stuff, not the RV stuff, because it's very thin. But we actually just have our kids throw it in the trash can.
Like you're overseas.
Basically, third world style, like you're on a mission trip or something. And then we just can empty the trash every day, and it's not a big deal. It is nice to have, we have another big storage compartment under here. We put toothbrush, toiletries, medicine, stuff like that. You have your mirror, have a few racks for towels or drying your clothes. It's really nice to have a bathroom. It's really nice when you have little kids and they need to pee in the middle of the night, or when you have bigger kids who need to pee in the middle of the night. That happened last night. It's rare, but it happens. And so all that to say,
or when you're in bear country.
Or when you're at a place where there's bears and you don't want to go out without, someone with you. But having a trailer has made all the difference. There's no way I would camp like I have in a tent. I just won't do it. It's not worth it to me. We've been in some places where the wind has been insane, and being able to come in here and hang out and clear off the table, and we can sit around and play a game together, or we can hang out on the bed and watch shows. or a movie when the weather was terrible, are things that when you're in a tent, it's just a lot harder to enjoy yourself. We can be in here, we can still cook our normal meals. When we eat on the road, we're eating really good, like meals, like kind of very similar to what we eat at home. It's not like we're just doing PB&Js all the time. And it's fun. It's fun to be out and about and eat good and enjoy that and play games and have shelter. And we paid, for this trailer, we got it for $4,000. We did put some money in getting the tail lights to work and so on. So we're definitely a little more in than $4,000. But we have done, like I said, a 7-week trip across the states, a 5-week trip, and like countless other trips that I can't even count them all.
Short trip weekends.
Short trips. One thing we did do that was totally worth it. My dad hung these. There used to be blinds, and they were in good condition when we got it, but they weren't going to last with kids, and they were old, so they were probably going to start deteriorating anyways, even though they look good. We got these from IKEA, and then what I did is I bought fabric from IKEA. I don't sew, so I got the hemming tape, and I ironed them on, and it's one of my favorite things. I love my curtains. And with the kids and even the baby, they've gotten pulled on. I mean, we don't like let them, but they have held up wonderfully. I've been really impressed. Both the curtains and the wires. So that's been a good thing that we added. It's nice to be able to just pull them closed real quick, or even pull them open really easily in the night if you're wanting the breeze to get through. So,
which we do.
Yeah, all the time. Okay, a couple more things I just wanted to mention. One is the air conditioning. When we got it, the air conditioning worked, which was awesome. And I do not like to be hot. Like, that's an understatement. I really, really, really do not like to be hot. That was like a huge deal to me. Well, then the air conditioning quit working. But the funny thing is, we almost never camp where we're using hookups anyways. It's so expensive. My guess is if you have the money to be staying at a place with hookups all the time, you're probably not going to be looking at trailers like this. You're going to be fancier and higher end and what have you.
You could also replace that for not a terrible ton of money.
True. You could replace it, but really actually what we want to do, because we've stayed at we've gone to 26 national parks, and we're just not opting for spaces that are a whole bunch of money per night to be able to run air conditioners. So it doesn't really matter. You're better if you invest in fans that can run off your solar or batteries or what have you, because moving air is kind of what you need at night. The other thing we actually prefer to do is to take this out, and we're going to put in one of the fans that moves the air through the whole camper. And that way you can run it, all the time off the battery instead of having hookups. Sorry. So if you find a camper or a trailer similar to ours and the air's not working, I would say it's really not a big deal. You want fans anyways. Another thing I wanted to point out that probably a lot of people wouldn't want to be pointing out is, like, if you look in the corners, if you crawled up there and you push on it with your finger, it's kind of disgusting. It's wood rot over there, and it's where water has gotten in over the time, and we bought it like that. And the truth of the matter is, I think a lot of people who are like, oh, like you can't get a trailer with wood rot. Well, ideally, it would be great to have a camper that has no soft spots. But the truth of the matter is, we've had this camper now like 4 years. We've used it a ton in those 4 years, and we've used it that whole time with those soft spots. So the point is, like, if you're on a budget and you find one that you're like, hey, this would really work, I would even encourage you that soft spots like that shouldn't necessarily be a deal breaker to you. You do have to be aware if you're going camping and it's going to rain, you're probably going to want to tarp your trailer, and that's a hassle and it's annoying, but it is it's a way to make it happen without having a perfect trailer. Or if you're like, we don't know if it has current leaks, well, take a big tarp. If the forecast says it's going to rain, tarp it down, and then you don't have to worry when you're sleeping at night that the water's going to seep in. So that's kind of the anti-Pinterest camper review. It's not like us living like a perfect life with a perfect camper, but on very little money, we've been able to get a trailer that I really love and I'm so thankful for, and I know has made the difference in us getting out and not getting out. So if you have $4,000, look around for a beat up trailer and think through whether it can make things work for you.
All right, so here's the outside of our 75 Prowler trailer, and one of the things we do love are these windows. They're super big. And a lot of trailers now, modern trailers design, do not incorporate like a front window. And our front window is our biggest window. We love it. It's awesome. It has this cool old shade. And you know, it's a little, this guy's stripped out, so I stick a piece of wood or something in there to hold it up. And you know, sometimes the lights flicker on the road, these side lights, you know, whatever. And this panel was kind of separating, so I put some of that Flex Seal tape. That's lasted about, I don't know, probably 10,000 miles now since I put that on. There's the bathroom window, super great. There's a rear storage compartment, just like Jamie was saying. Definitely had some leaks at some point, a little wood rot there, but still holding stuff. We did have an awning. I ripped it off on some construction cones coming back from Maine, so that was a bummer. But you know, that's how it goes. We're still out here with no canopy. So there's more of those windows. We love the windows. These brake lights are finicky, even though I replaced them. The wiring from the harness, I think, is not great because I've thrown some magnets on here, magnet lights hooked up to my 4-pin connector on my van, and those do work all the time. So pretty sure this is a one always works, one works sometimes. So I think that's an issue with the trailer's harness. These are just workarounds, you know, like they did work at some point, you know, while we've had it. And then, you know, I can either spend my time traveling or spend my extra time, spare time, which I don't have very much of, working on a trailer, which I'd rather be out, that's for sure. So, got the dual propane, got a battery. It's actually really cool. It fits a Type 27 battery just perfect. And obviously, upgraded that.
Oh, cute.
So, it does fit one battery. If you had lithium, you know, which is obviously very lightweight, you could put it on the inside. If you had lithium batteries, you could add more, you know. Some newer trailers have dual battery slots on the tongue. We do not. So this is the electronics compartment. I put this inverter there, so I just hook the 30 amp hookup to an adapter, and then we just plug it in there. So this is our house electricity is running off of the battery, inverted. So obviously, if everything can be in 12 volt and not need to invert anything, you would be more efficient with your battery usage. But this is simpler for now. And we do have some 12 volt lights, and the fan over the kitchen, things like that are 12 volt. The fridge needs a 12 volt to ignite. Just simple things like that. So you need a 12 volt either way. So if you get a good enough 12 volt system, you can invert your house electricity. But when we do have hookups, which is rare that we do hookup spots, we definitely don't want to pay extra for that. That's where that would come out. That connection, 30 amp original. I've had to reseal that little box a few times. We run a solar panel, sometimes two, but if you're in good light, this is enough to keep your battery charged up for the electricity used by this trailer setup. So obviously, depending on your electricity usage, you might need more, or you could use less. So back to the 70s, they're definitely making trailers similar to the way they do today, in that they, you know, had a black tank, gray tank, the purge, clear out for that. But the frame under here is not similar, but the frame under here is definitely different than the way they do it now. So for all the funky things, we lost our shroud on I-5 when we first got this trailer. We were hauling it and got to our first stop, and there was no shroud on top of the air conditioner, and we've just been going like that ever since. Like I said, it doesn't work currently anyway, so who cares. And then for all the, you know, funky things about this old trailer, I've come to find out a lot of trailers have problems even new off the lot. So I was having this discussion with a friend who travels full time with very nice stuff, who has, you know, new equipment, couple-year-old trailer that he bought new, you know, big diesel truck that he pulls it with and all that. And they have issues too. They've had that thing in the shop multiple times for weird stuff. So if you can look past the fact that this isn't new and shiny and you get an old trailer, you might have some things to fix, but apparently so do the people with new ones. So I don't know. That is what it is. We're out here enjoying life at the campground, and our trailer's not in the shop. So I took this in to get the wheel bearings redone before our last long trip to Maine, and the techs were like, they don't make them like they used to, and I was like, oh yeah, it's bad, blah blah. Like, no, this thing is solid. I've never seen a chassis like that, you know, blah blah blah. So they were former nuclear engineers, worked at my old nuclear power plant in California, where I lived when I was a kid. And that was just ironic. They're obviously very knowledgeable about technical things, and they said, hey, this thing's awesome. You know, if we just clean it up, gut it, redo the interior, this thing's good to go for the extended period of time. So that's just something to think about. If you are interested in camping and you want a trailer, new ones have problems, old ones have problems. They have different problems. So we've probably done about 20,000 miles with this trailer and van combo, and all over the US, mountains, deserts, ocean, forests. So man, we're just so thankful for it. There's other ways to do it, but this is one way.